Welcome to our discussion on nonprofit mail, also known as bulk mail or marketing mail. My name is Laurie Brady. I am the supervisor for Danforth Mail Services. With me today is Peggy Smith, Senior Manager, Mail and Receiving Services.
Well, thank you, Laurie. I am very happy to be here.
Great.
So we're going to be talking about nonprofit mail.
Absolutely.
Let's get started.
Peggy, can you tell us what type of mailing would qualify as a nonprofit mailing?
Sure, I sure can, Laurie. So for a nonprofit mailing, you have to have at least 200 pieces. Can't just send 1, 2, 10, or 100. It has to be at least 200 pieces or 50 pounds mail. And it must be under 1 pound. No variable data. So it's important that we take a look and we talk about what type of mailing that you're doing to make sure that it qualifies before we actually get started. So when you're ready to send a nonprofit mail, I would like for you to send an email to Peggy_Smith@woostel.edu or lmbrady@woostel.edu. Included in that email, a project name so we can identify it, department, and a fund number if you use it, the quantity of the mailing, what types of services that you need, addressing, folding, inserting, that sort of thing, and then an Excel spreadsheet with the address information.
You mentioned earlier the difference in prices between first class and other mail services. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. One of the most important things when you're considering first class versus nonprofit is the weight of the mailing and, believe it or not, the size of the mailing. So we need to know what size it is. For instance, a letter. A letter can be up to 6 1/8 by 11 1/2. This area right in here is the size of a letter. And for a letter, for instance, going at the nonprofit rate, up to 3.3 ounces is approximately 17 to 20 cents. It all depends on your database. It depends on where it's all going, or it could be less as well. If you're sending a letter out first class, it's going to be 50 cents compared to 17 cents. And for nonprofit mail, you can mail for 17 cents up to 3.3 ounces. And if you were mailing that same piece first class, it's going to cost you $1, could cost you $1.50, depending on the weight. Each additional ounce is 21 cents. So the big difference, you can really save quite a bit on a nonprofit mailing for first class letters in particular. Postcard. A postcard here is indicated in this red area. The minimum is 3 1/2 by 5. The max is a 4 1/4 by 6. Now, a first class postcard is 35 cents, but there is no nonprofit postcard rate. It's the same as a letter. So you don't have to be limited by the size of the piece. If you're going to do a postcard, you can, but you can make it as large as a letter as you see here and send it out for 17 cents rather than 35 cents and be so limited in the size. Large mailings even. We often see surveys that are mailed, newsletters that are maybe folded, or maybe they're larger. The largest size for a large envelope, a flat mailing, is a 12 by 15. It's the outside of this board here. And a large envelope, it's going to start at $1 by sending out at first class rate. For nonprofit, again, it depends on the weight of it, weight and how many pieces that you have. It could be as low as 30 cents, 35 cents. So we can help you determine what the difference is once we know the size of the piece and the weight of it and how many pieces that you're sending in order to give you a quote.
Great. Is there someplace I can go on my own to find out what the postage costs might be?
Sure, you can go out to the USPS website at dbcalc.usps.com. And there are links there that you can drop down if you have a letter, large envelope, and also a business calculation, which you can go out and take a look at the nonprofit rates. So our business partner can provide such services as printing. You can provide the printed piece, or they can print black and white, they can print color. They can help fold and insert, they can tab. They can help personalize the mailing, and I said earlier you can't personalize it, but you can have an address, and you can have Dear Laurie or Dear Steve for nonprofit mail, just like you can have as first class. They can provide some variable printing, and not just nonprofit, but first class mail as well. If you have packages and things, a special mailing that you're considering, utilize the business partner as a consultant, and we can serve as a consultant also to help you get the best services for the mailing that you're sending.
Peggy, why do you need an address database?
Well, in order to get the best rates possible, it starts with a good address file. In that address file, you need to have separate fields such as the name. The address absolutely needs to be in its own field. The city in a separate field, state, and zip in their own separate fields, so that our business partner can take a look at that database and make sure that it's valid addresses, street numbers, and add on the appropriate add-on zip code. And if you have international mail within that database, that's fine, but that cannot go nonprofit. You will need to have a separate country code for that, a separate country field for that. The business partner will take the address file, cleanse it, and then they will address the mailing piece for you. Apply the barcode at the same time in order to get the best postage rate possible. And again, cleanse it so that you have minimal pieces that are returned or that cannot be mailed.
Peggy, after the mailing is sent out, is processed, it's sent out, how do I get charged for that?
Well, we do use the university online system. We will create an ID for the charges. We separate out what the postage is. And one of the things I wanted to mention about the postage, we use a permit. The university permit is $25.35. Some of you may have seen that already. But we maintain funds in that account, and then we charge back. We pay the fees for that. You don't have to have your own postage permit. And before you print that on there, again, it's important that we take a look at that before you print. And if you use another agency, your own business partner to do the mailing, that's fine. Let me know that you're mailing what you're mailing so that I can charge back for that postage. The business partner, the vendor, will not bill you for the postage. We will if you're using the university permit of $25.35. So you don't have to worry about getting a purchase order or paying for anything in advance. The business partner that we use will bill us for the services, bill back for the services, and for the postage.
Great. Is there anything else I should know about submitting a nonprofit mail?
Again, the important thing is to consult with us first before you do the printing, just in case. You know where you have the return address, having enough space to put the address is very important, and you also need to leave room for the barcode as well. And I think it's worth mentioning, because a lot of nonprofit mailings that we do include, say you're conducting a survey and you need something returned to you, we can also assist you with a business reply envelope, and that has to be designed in advance as well, so that we can help your department with as well.
Great. Thanks for coming today. That was a lot of great information.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here, and I hope you find this beneficial. Any questions, let us know.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you, Peggy.